Alright guys, I got another video here for you today. Last night I got to go check out the Marvels, and today I'll be giving you my review on the Marvels. So, let's get into it. Welcome to Infinity Reviews. So yeah! Woohoo! Oh, that's a great line. That is a great line. Eve! My basic thoughts on the Marvels. I guess we can kind of go through I think it's a good movie. I think it's a fun movie. I think it's fun. I had a lot of fun with it. There were some scenes where I went ugh with the film, but I had a great time, And I think definitely stay for the post credits. There's one, and then stay to the end because some major things are kind of hinted at in the future MCU. But this is gonna be kind of spoiler. So we're gonna save spoiler for the end of the video. So I'll do a spoiler warning before I jump into the spoilers of what the post credit scene and what the ending was like. But yeah, let's dive into some of the things I liked about it. I liked that they really focused on the relationship between the three characters because going to an hour 45-minute film, I thought, how are they gonna show us these relationships between Carol, Monica, and Kamala? I'm like, how are they gonna show that? Because these guys have never met before. They've never met before. They don't know anything about each other, and it's quickly established. They have to become a team. And it's I thought the film would go the route, where Carol doesn't really accept them because, Carol's been off on her own for a long time, but it was quickly accepted that they wanted to work together. And I did feel at times like some of it was rushed, that maybe we could have spent more time on places. It felt like we were just jumping all over the place, which is not bad. It's not bad, because, did not want to stay on that dancing planet for as long as I did, because I'm like, oh, it's one of these, are we really doing this? Is this really Marvel? Is this what the fans really wanted? And yeah, so I love the dynamic between them. Such good chemistry. I would say that this should be Brie Larson's movie, but she doesn't really steal the show. It's Iman Vellani as Miss Marvel who steals it. Every scene the family and her in are my favorite scenes in the film. That the only times I'm laughing in the film is with her, if she's in it, or if it's the family. I'm not laughing at any of the other stuff. And this movie kind of needed that comedic tone. Because Carol Danvers' universe is pretty silly. And because I've read some of the recent Captain Marvel comics, which those are a bit more silly and serious, and I love it for them to go down that road one day, but they're not really at that point. I don't think Brie Larson can really do a comedic Carol Danvers. I think she's better doing a more serious movie. But yeah, I am big. Let's dive more into the characters. Honestly, Captain Marvel. What can I say? I know Brie Larson gets a lot of hate for how she plays Captain Marvel. I honestly like it. I like the way she plays it. I think, she's a very good actress to have in the role. I do think, sometimes it's hard for me when I'm watching the movie to feel bad for Carol. Because, we haven't really dived super deep. We know about all the stuff in the first movie, and then we go off and we see all this side stuff. And the one thing I would say I didn't like is that they decided to do this whole, subplot of oh, she destroyed Supreme Intelligence. I'm like, okay, why wouldn't you make that a movie first? A lot of people have been saying this should be a Captain Marvel 3, not a Captain Marvel 2. They thought this whole thing was oh, Carol went back to Hala, the Kree homeworld, and destroyed the Supreme Intelligence. I'm like, I don't want to see that movie. And they just did that. I'm like, okay, that's a really weird decision. I don't really know why you needed that in here. But yeah, she was enjoyable characters. Can't really say much. She didn't steal the movie from me. She wasn't totally amazing, but she was okay. Then Monica Rambeau. I liked Monica Rambeau's character a lot. in WandaVision. I really liked her character. I really liked that she was good, and she's very good at I felt like she was a character that she has to be the one to bring everyone together. And she kind of did it. She was kind of like the elder sister, the mom to the Marvels, where Kamala was kind of the kid, and like Carol tried to like be the mom, but I think Monica was the one who sat down like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We gotta do this. We gotta do that. We gotta get this together. You need to do this. You need to do this. And that was kind of what she was. I feel like she was more of the leader in this movie than Carol Danvers is, and Carol Danvers should be the leader, but Monica Rambeau did it. Tiana Paris was very good. I can't wait to see what they're gonna do like with the character, especially after that post credit scene. But yeah, very good character, and I really enjoyed it. Now let's go on to Miss Marvel. I thought Miss Marvel was the best part of the movie. Mon Vellani is an actress who I think, after this, even though it wasn't the greatest movie, that she should be given a lot more work. Not just in the Marvels or the Marvel Cinematic Universe. She should be given work in other stuff because she is very talented. And I think that her and Tom Holland are like the two actors that should be going forth as the future of this Marvel universe because they are great in the roles they play. And of course, her family was great in it. I loved her family. Her family was great, and I just love. I was laughing so much. Like you have the Khan family on top of Nick Fury. It's like, and the mom's like, "Where's my daughter? Is she safe?" And it's just so wholesome, and it's the best part of the movie, like by far. Like I really, to be honest, I really didn't care for the villain or the plot going on about how spoiler. We're gonna get into spoilers now. Okay, we're gonna get into spoilers now. That Hall is dying. Yeah, the main thing is like Hall is dying, and the villain Darben, which is very unforgettable villain, very cheesy villain in my opinion, wants to take like resources from the planets Carol Danvers, like has loves and respects, and take those resources to hurt her, but also heal Hala. And I'm like, I thought it would be something more because they were teasing this villain up like, oh, she's gonna be the next Thanos. She's as bad as Thanos. I'm like, she's no relation to Thanos. She's not even as bad as Thanos, and they like beat her in like 15 minutes. Like honestly, very unforgettable villain. I thought she would be more memorable because they've been hyping it up in spots and TV shows for it. And yeah, and since we're in spoiler territory now, we'll talk about some of the other characters. Valkyrie shows up. Yeah, for like, and it's I think from watching, I'm like very content that are those two a thing, but it like looked like they were a thing because like of kind of looked like they were dating a bit, which would I would be okay with that because two of the most powerful women in the MCU being a power couple, like I want to see more romance in MCU, man. Like that's my thing. Like if we get some more like romance stories in MCU, like make it like a I would love that. And I think Thor: Love and Thunder tried to do that, and it wasn't. But I love seeing the evolved relationships in the film. Uh, but yeah, and then and like before we talk about some more spoilers, let's talk about uh, the things I didn't like. The Dancing Planet was so cringy, and it was like, oh, I'll go to Disney and we like musicals, but who wanted this? Who wanted to see Captain Marvel singing? Who wanted to see this? I'm like, and then I honestly I like the cat scene. A lot of people, like I've heard, said they didn't like the cat scene at all. They felt silly. I'm like, that was a funny scene, and the little baby kittens were so cute. But yeah, those are the things I didn't like. Now let's talk about the ending. So I'm gonna put a spoiler warning up here or over there for the spoilers. Uh, so let's not talk about post credits first. Let's talk about the ending. So basically, it ends with Monica Rambeau having to seal away. Uh, so basically, Darben she puts on the two bangles and she causes a rift when like the jump points where the in Guardians and Avengers where they go through, kind of It's like that, and she tries to get the sun to go to her planet so Hala can have sun. But what happens is she can't handle the power, and she kind of causes an incursion of sorts, shift between one universe and our Prime universe, which is Earth 616, confirmed by the Loki community. I know people said it's Earth 1999. No, it's Earth 616. Marvel has said it. Sony has said other things. Marvel has said it. I'm saying it's Earth 616. So basically, she does that and she gets stuck. And then we go to Monvolani, Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan. We see her go to, we see New York, and we see, spoiler, Haley Steinfeld's Kate Bishop, which I'm like, okay. And as soon as I saw that, I knew what they were setting up. I'm like, they're gonna set up Young Avengers, because Kate Bishop is the leader in the comics of the Young Avengers. She says she's trying to form a team, and she kind of gives the whole Nick Fury speech that he gave to Iron Man in Iron Man 1. And basically, they're going to go recruit a team. And I think this is a very good idea. Because I find it hard that for them to do just a regular Avengers movie after Infinity War and Endgame. Where you have, like, you do Avengers movies as, like, the big movies. And then you do a Young Avengers movie, which is a smaller threat, and you can have heroes like Kamala Khan, like Kate Bishop, like Ironheart, like Weaken, like Speed, like Patriot, Hulkling, or whatever characters you want to do next. I think it's a really good idea, and I'm very excited to see if they actually do your Young Avengers project. I'm just going to say this. If they make it a Disney Plus series, I'm going to be so mad. Because Marvel needs to get back doing movies and scale back on the TV shows. Because I'm not a fan of TV shows. I love Loki. I love WandaVision. But Marvel, when they do movies, it feels more special than just watching a show. But yeah, then let's talk about the big mid-credit. There's no end credits, there's a mid-credit scene, and it's big. So we go to Monica, and we find her laying down somewhere. And she looks over and she sees Maria Rambeau, her mom. And we're like, okay, this is another universe. And she starts to cry and says, Mom, I'm sorry. And it's very emotional, and like she says, it's okay. And then someone else comes into the room. Hank McCoy, Beast, walks in. Voiced by Kelsey Grammer for X3. And I lost my mind, guys. I am a huge X-Men fan, and it in the Beast, the CGI was a bit off, but it was looking good. I was so happy. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the second movie we have in the MCU now. Even though it's not in our Prime universe, it's in our universe. And that got me excited. And then we learn that Maria Rambeau is just not Captain Marvel. She's the hero named Binary, which I'm like, okay, that's awesome. Now, for you who don't know who Binary is, they just did a recent run with her in the Captain Marvel comics where, like, she was kind of, like, split off from Carol Danvers, like, she was formed from Carol Danvers' powers, and she was, like, kind of a copy of her, but she was her own person. And it was really cool in the comics, and it was like kind of like Carol had, like, a sister, which was really cool. And I've been wanting to do Binary for a while. And I'm glad they were able to show it. The suit does not look awesome. I say that, like, especially in the neck, it's very tight and scrunchy. And then it pans over, and the best thing I like about it is that Maria has no idea who Monica is. That's just such a good thing. Imagine going to another universe, you see a dead relative, and they don't recognize who you are. Do you know how much that hurts? That, like, I don't know who you are. You don't mean anything to me. Like, that's probably really painful for Monica. And I think, like, it would be cool if we got, like, something else to see where Monica is. You know, maybe a Disney Plus show, or maybe a Photon movie. I don't know what they're doing over there. But then it pans over, and we see the X logo from the 20th century. That is the we see the 20th Century Fox X-Men logo, which is the silver and the with the little sliding door, and it plays the music from the original X-Men franchise. Now, I think a lot of people want this to be, you know, off. They don't want to connect to 20th Century Fox. I think people need to admit also that those X-Men movies are iconic movies. You know, you look at movies like X1, Days of Future Past, Logan, First Class, all great X-Men movies, and people are like the X-Men movies were all so bad. There were some bad ones, but there were really good ones too. And I have a, I have something I'd like to share with you all that I think this is my theory that this is not the Logan timeline. This is not the redone past timeline that had an Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix. This is the timeline that Wolverine fixed in Days of Future Past. Yes, that's the timeline I think it is in. They're probably like, no, Beast didn't look similar to her. I'm like, hold on a minute. Like, Beast didn't look anything like he did in Future Past. You know, he looks completely different. I'm like, he might look different, but things can be changed. You know, we saw Beast in that Days of Future Past epilogue, and that was kind of like an ending point for those characters. But those characters are rumored to be coming back for Deadpool 3. And I think that Deadpool 3, I think the entire possibly Deadpool franchise has been part of that Days of Future Past timeline. Not the OG X-Men timeline, not the Logan timeline, not the Apocalypse First Class and Dark Phoenix timeline. This is taking place, that is the timeline that Days of Future Past ends on and creates. And I think that's brilliant to use. Brilliant. Because you're not affecting Logan. You're not good expanding on something that could have a door open again, which is great. And as X-Men fan, you know, I want to see that OG cast. You know, I want to see James Marsden as Cyclops. I want to see Frankie Jensen as Jean Grey again. I want to see Halle Bailey as Storm. I want to see them all come back on screen together. You know, even if you get Anna Paquin back as Rogue, which she wasn't the best Rogue, but I love the Rogue. You know, get Sean Ashmore back as Iceman. You know, and this is definitely a post-credit scene that leads into Deadpool 3. Because I think we are going to get those OG characters in Deadpool 3. And I can't wait because I want to see my boy Cyclops have his redemption arc because I did him dirty every single time. But overall, for the Marvels, I'd say it's a solid movie. And not great, but solid. There were parts I did not like. There were parts I did like. And I can't wait for the next project, which will be Deadpool 3 for movies and Echo the TV show. And I think the MCU is starting to get back on track. You know, Loki, very good. Really did a good setup for Secret Wars and King Dynasty in that show. Reactions coming for that soon. It's going to be up in a few days. I'm just trying to get some things sorted out with Disney right now. Trying to get it up on the tube. And we have this that really shows where Deadpool 3 can be going. And I'm glad Marvel's finally trying to set up their universe. They're finally setting up it. Because the last two projects have been like, oh, new character, new subplot. And we're finally getting to the point where we're finally connecting it. And I think Deadpool 3 has to hit really well for it to connect because that's the movie that's going to open the floodgates to Secret Wars and King Dynasty. But overall, Marvels, I would give a solid 6.5 out of 10. Because there are things I liked, things I didn't like. And I think the Rotten Tomatoes score was very good, very good. Accurately depicted the movie. I think this movie was a lot better than Thor. I liked it a lot better than Ant-Man. And like the Batman Secret Invasion, you know, I'd say this and Eternals are on the same level because those movies are very divided if they're good or bad. I like Eternals and I like this, and I think they're on the same level. And I think, and it was just announced. I'm gonna talk about later today, that how these movies got that Marvel delayed their entire schedule, and some other interesting topics that come up. But yeah, thank you guys for watching my review of the Marvels. Make sure you please like and subscribe to the channel and on the video, and leave a comment down below. And I'll see you next time.